Hi, I'm Dan Epstein. I think everybody in this room completely buys into this kind of worldview that you've been talking about, which is, it's incredibly elegant. We'll walk out and we've just, as a city, London's just invested in the Thames Tideway, which will take all of our sewage, pump it out into Beckton, turn that into desalinated water, burn it, and dispose of it. So billions. As a country, we're investing in nuclear. That's the kind of way forward in a system that has been proven to fail in various countries. So I just wonder, how do you, we'll go back out in the world and we'll kind of, we want to kind of take this idea forward. How do you suggest this kind of transformation is going to take place, or how do we work to really create a new conventional wisdom or new business as usual, if you like?
This is what when I started, I said how hard, this is hard. And it just got harder, right? Just got a little bit harder, yeah. I think all we can do is, as Edward Abbey, who was an eccentric American environmentalist in Nevada, he said, well, somebody asked him, well, what is the job of the environmentalists? And he said, our job is to outlive the bastards. and what he was talking about is like, we should be having more fun than they are. We should be showing cooler stuff than they are. We should just get on with this thing. And I think that's all we can do right now. And I don't mean party up in some silly way. But I think it's time to really make the beauty of this known and make it part of the culture. Because what is happening is ugly. And what we're dealing with here is what is beautiful at this point in history. And I think that actually carries a lot of potency in it over time. In the meantime, we're going to have to wait this thing out as it goes. We just have to keep finding the alternatives. So when the nuclear plants, the Indian Point nuclear plant near New York is about to get shut down, right? So, so stuff happens. And I think I remember I went to Chattanooga in 1992 before the Earth Summit, an American industrial foundry town. And the air quality in Chattanooga had been declared worst in America. They beat Los Angeles in 1969. They had a civic heart attack. I mean, you had it here in 1955, I think, right? Right? Wasn't it dark here? You had to have headlights on at noon.
Yeah.
You took 2 shirts to work, and you go, what? So China's going through that now. But anyway, one of the foundry owners sat at the back of the room, and he goes, Mr. McDonough, all this sustainability stuff is all very interesting, but I only have one question. How long is this going to take? And it was like, it's going to take forever. That's the point. So we better get started. So I think you just do what you can do. But I think we need these fundamental things. I think we need to say everything is benefit to something else. So, just do your work. That's all we can do. Just do your best. The nuclear thing, that's going to have to bring itself down.
Well,
I used to be able to say, why don't we get out and vote, but that doesn't seem to do it.
Yeah. That's a bit gloomy there. What if you were in charge here? Okay,
we're optimists.
There's the first 100 days.
Yeah.
What should happen? What actually, because you did come up with some pretty alarming and rightly so data on just how things are getting pretty messed up. So we need to move fairly fast here if we were able to take control.
Yeah.
What would you do? What would you actually
I would get if you think about it, and I know this is going to sound probably perverse, and I haven't thought about it, so I'm going to get in trouble. Just up here, I'm going to get confused. And I think it'll sound very strange. I think one of the reasons we have Donald Trump as a president is there's this desire, I don't know what it comes from per se, but there's this desire to get practical and get stuff done and be in business and whatever. And if he's successful in business, then he's going to be successful in politics. Now, that's yet to be seen, and I'm very concerned about that because there's a whole different way of being, obviously. And I can't even watch because it sounds like chalkboard getting scratched with fingernails to me. So I can't even watch it. So I'm not very much use. But I think the idea now is to get our commercial people, the great commercial people and get them moving. Because the power of the resource, of the economic resource, driving our direction is immensely effective, even to people who don't understand the underlying, the ethos that runs this thinking. If you can show them the money, you can get them to move. So I think we have to show how this is so much more practical. It's like the Rouge. We can do 3 chemical treatment plants, lots of pipes, or we can do a forest and a meadow and save a lot of money and get on with life, and the world got better. You have to show it. You have to do it. And then other people can copy it. It's like Leibniz said. He said, if it is possible, therefore it exists. So our job is to make it exist so it's possible, right, for other people. And I remember reading a study in the New York Times, 1984, about people's personality and changes and what caused them. And the major cause of personality shift was economic stress. You notice that too. But I went looking for what didn't change, and I asked the researchers, and I think we barely had a fax machine then. So I called Stanford, and I got their head researcher, and I said, what did you find did not change out of 187 personality characteristics? And she said, well, we weren't looking for that. We were looking for what did change and why. I said, well, what didn't change? So we took all the analysis and we formed it up and we looked at it. And we turned out there were 2 characteristics of human personality that didn't change. Friendliness and willingness to experiment with new things. My guess is this room is full of friendly people willing to experiment with new things. That's very interesting. And I think that can drive a culture. Because if we look in history, we see that over and over again. So those are the things that don't change. So be friendly, be willing to experiment with new things. And when you see a glass of water, don't be a pessimist and say it's half empty. Don't be an optimist and say it's half full. Just say it's full of water and air. And it's not big enough to share. So go for it.